and he bought the suit for me, and just nice to have one. It's a good deal.
Your coach always says that you wouldn't take any out of work that you would maybe coach that believes that strongly in you. What's that mean to you?
It means everything to me. It does. Especially when it comes from a guy like Coach Frost. He's been around some really good quarterbacks. I think he knows what it takes, and for him to have that type of confidence in me, it gives me confidence. Kind of frees me up a little bit to keep being able to make plays and just play my style of football.
Football can be incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
How do you relax or unwind off the football field?
Yeah, off the football field, it just depends. I've recently gotten to golf. I really enjoy that. Not that great though, but still fun. I watch a lot of movies and really just talk to the people around me. My teammates, coaches, friends. I'm thankful that it doesn't always have to be about football. That they could just be there for me, as human beings. So it's cool, and I'm thankful.
Where do you want to be better this year?
I'd point to two areas really. Turnovers for me especially, and then red zone efficiency, things that I think we really need to change a little bit, and where I can make a difference. And I think in year two, me just being a smarter football player and just having a better general knowledge, we'll be able to improve in those areas.
Did it seem as the year went on, did things slow down for you on the field, or did it always, did it ever seem too fast?
It never seemed too fast, but it just took some time for me to kind of realize, making smarter plays, like towards the middle of the year, I'd probably say I just kind of had that connection, and I just started playing better football. I started being a better quarterback, trying to slide a little bit here and there, realizing it's not high school anymore. And I think towards the end of the year, I started to have that figured out a bit.
When you're watching TV and you're doing things, is there a play, is there a touchdown that sticks out like, man, that was a good one? My personal favorite, I guess.
I'd probably say the Minnesota one where I threw it to Stanley Morgan. I think it was our last touchdown of the game. He was pretty wide open, but that was a big moment for us, a big win, and kind of a memorable play. But usually when I'm watching film, it's not those plays that strike me. It's usually the ones that aren't the good ones that that kind of leave a little bit more of a memory in my mind.
And then how do those plays that usually the memory, the ways you can improve, how do they motivate you?
Yeah, and that's why we watch film. That's why I go back. You review the good stuff too, but the bad stuff from last year, realizing a few of those plays, if I maybe have done it differently, if I would have made a better decision, the game could have resulted in our favor. And so just realizing that, trying to learn from it and apply it to next season.
When you were named starter, there were like 3 senior offensive linemen that were all pretty loud, pretty good leaders, and then you come in and you're the starting quarterback. How hard was that to be, or was it to just kind of be 18-year-old freshman quarterback, try and lead the team, but also there's these established leaders like
and I think it's part of that is probably realizing that obviously when you're a quarterback you take on responsibility, you take on a leadership role, but being a freshman you need to know it wasn't my team yet. It just wasn't. I needed to continue to earn that each day in practice, each day in the weight room, when it was game day, wherever it was, whenever it was, you're a leader, and that's something you have to earn, and I had to earn the respect of those guys, and I think I got that leadership role as the season progressed.
Do you feel like it now? Do you feel like you earned it, like this kind of your team?
Yeah, I feel like I'm a very big leader on this team.
Adrian, in what ways as this offseason went along, you competed in different spots than week by week practices? In what way were you able to maybe stretch your legs a little bit and better spring and now?
Yeah. Well, I'd probably say as soon as we got back from winter break and it was winter conditioning, I was going to put myself out there, and just try and establish myself as that leader. Obviously, I had played the year previous, and as Coach Verdue always says, leadership is, I hope you guys know the saying. All my Nebraska people, you guys should know. But yeah, I had to play. I had to earn that respect, and then having that, I had to continue to back it up throughout winter conditioning, and I think the program helped, which is ex-Marines coming in and training us. I think that helped establish myself further as a leader, and I think it's an ever-going process. It doesn't stop.
I know you try not to look forward to the games, but Colorado games count. You weren't able to finish that game. How does it feel after the second shot to go back, especially when
Yeah. Well, first things first, we definitely have to focus on South Alabama. They're going to be a tough team, and that's going to be a big one for us. And then Colorado will be a ton of fun. I'm looking forward to playing that team in Boulder. Should be a lot of Nebraska fans there too, and it'll be a good time and a good game.
What makes that session with the Marines? What stands out from the toughness, how grueling they put you through? What stands out from that session when they came in?
Well, it's really not even about the physicality of it. It's more about just building cohesive teams, cohesive leaders, and really it was just how we came together as a team. We wake up way too early, get out there and work our tails off, but we were doing it together, and I think it just increased our bond even more. And as tough as it was a lot of fun too, because you're doing it with your brothers, and and they really focused on the details, which is something that matters in football. A lot of it translated, not necessarily to football skill, but just the things that are important in football and working in a team. I wouldn't say the word of choice would be surprised. I think our team has a reason to be confident. We finished the season in a positive way last year, and we've been working really hard. I'm confident in the guys that we have, but with that being said, we have to earn it. There's a lot to prove out there this year, a lot to earn, and I think our team's fully aware of that.
What were your impressions of the rivalry with Iowa and playing them for the first time last year?
Yeah, real passionate fan base. I love the hospital wave. That was really cool. And Iowa's a good football team. I look forward to that, and I think it's cool to be in a tradition where you play on a Black Friday. I think that's awesome. And I'll definitely miss that because I know, I think after this next year we won't have that anymore. But, it's a good tradition, and I think it's a good game between Iowa and Nebraska.
Were you surprised how maybe passionate the fans, how much they get into that one compared to maybe?
I think Nebraska fans in general are really passionate, about every game. But the Iowa one seemed to strike them a little bit more, and I think Iowa was really into it as well. And I mean, we're right next to each other. Being in the Midwest for a little while, I kind of understood the rivalry a little bit, so, yeah. A lot of the young guys have come out to play. A lot of the DBs look really impressive right now. I think some of the new running backs, receivers, we have a good group of incoming freshmen. Some of them will play this year. Some of them will contribute. Really the key thing for them is just continuing to work hard and just kind of adopt our team mottos we have. Oh yeah, he's really good. He's a really smart player. Something I can appreciate. He already knows how to play all the receiver spots, and he's real reliable. Runs solid routes, catches the ball, and he's already left an impression, a strong impression on all the quarterbacks. Yeah, well, it's an honor, and it means a lot to me to be able to represent this university. and also just that Coach Frost has that type of faith in me as a person to be able to represent this place. And, you know, I owe it to him and the people to do a good job here. Could you say that again? You know, I'd like to say that I'm a hard worker and that I've really tried my best to really do good works, whether it be in the community or as a leader on the football team. And I think I've established myself as that person and someone that he can rely on to do right by the university.
How beneficial is it to have a coach who has been in these similar shoes to yours, albeit, you know, a couple decades ago?
Yeah, well, that was part of kind of like the recruiting process for me. You know, I was saying this earlier, but within probably 10 minutes of my family meeting Coach Frost, they just knew that he was the type of guy that they wanted me to be around. You know, it was an important decision for me, and you know, I have a lot of faith in that guy, and I'm just so thankful to be able to be coached by him, to have this opportunity to play here, to play under a guy who knows what it takes, who's coached great quarterbacks, and has won a national championship here. So I don't think there's a better combination of things for a coach to have here.
You're obviously the star quarterback, but the guys behind you, the depth, Noah, Andrew, and Luke, how much have you seen them grow out? How much are they better than last year compared to right now?
Yeah, well, there's no doubt. I think we've all been really improving, and that's a testament to Coach Verduzco. He's constantly pushing us to be better, not only just on the football field, but often. I think we've grown as people, and we have a real tight-knit group that likes to push each other as well, and I think having it be competitive in there is a good thing for us.
How much different does it feel like when it's just 7-7 now, even the amount of skill, talent, and just sheer number of players that you have in your positions?
How's it like different from last year type of thing, or just? Yeah, it's definitely. It's kind of weird, you know, because I didn't have that experience last year. I just knew spring ball, and I don't know, it didn't click the same way for me. But having all these guys kind of come in has definitely helped our numbers, and some guys that I think will play this year arrived kind of later for us. And having a guy like Dedrick Mills and Conavai, you know, he's really talented, but they picked up on things fast, and I think it's helped us get more reps. It's pushed other guys to, you know, elevate their game as well. You know, once you guys see him, he's just a, you know, real muscular dude who's going to run real hard for us. He's not going to give up 1 inch out there. So that's what we need.
Adrian, what's it like being a student athlete at Nebraska with all these great fans running out on the field and seeing everybody there cheering you, win, lose, or draw? They're there, and the fans are there. What's it like to have that experience?
Yeah, well, that was part of the reason I chose Nebraska. I don't think there's any better fans in this country. They're incredibly loyal. You know, we didn't have the best season last year, but they showed up, and I'll always love them for that. And you know, I'm just thankful to be a part of such a great community. They don't only support us on the football field, but we just recently had a road race to raise awareness for pediatric brain cancer, and I believe we raised over $50,000. Had tons of fans out there, people who wanted to run the race and just be a part of that event. So it's a special place that I think a lot of people should pay a little bit more attention to.
Adrian, let's finish up your offensive line. Obviously, you're the hands guys are the stars. What's it like to have that offensive line? They're working each week to protect you, to make sure they're there for you.
Yeah, well, the O-line often goes a little bit under-recognized, so I appreciate the question. Those guys are working hard right now. They are. They're working hard every day in the weight room, getting extra reps. I mean, just in the film room, and I really appreciate it. I think those guys are going to be a strong piece of our team this year. You know, I have a ton of faith in those guys, in Coach Greg Austin. You know, it's hard not just to have a ton of love for those guys just because of how hard they work. I think the entire team, despite them not having to say much, they lead through their actions, and they do a great job of it, and we try and follow. Yeah.
Frost talked about learning how to do things last year. And getting a taste of it towards the end of the season obviously was helpful, but how helpful was all this game in competitions, like peer-to-peer, program thing,
Yeah. Well, I think it's all kind of a collective effort, you know. The program is a big piece of it for us. I think establishing some new leaders, I think that's a big piece of the program. But then just working out and sweating and just working hard together has really just been able to build this team into what we want heading into fall camp. I think that's the process every football team goes through, kind of heading into fall. But, you know, I think it's been a little bit different for this group of guys just because of what we went through last year, what we know we can accomplish, and just, you know, all the work that we put into this point. We're just a confident group right now that I think is a real tight bond. Well, I think we've just, because my recruitment was pretty brief, we've just gotten to know each other a little bit more, and I just, it's amazing I'm here in this spot, just because I hear stories about other guys I know going other places where the head coach may not be exactly who they thought they were. For me, Coach Frost is and was everything I thought he was and more. He's just been an outstanding human being and a coach with amazing knowledge of the game. Yeah, I think that's a vital part of playing the quarterback position, having that chemistry with the play caller, because you need to know why they're calling that play, what they're thinking, and you know, the reason and what you think they would want you to do with the ball, kind of within the framework of your own personality of playing, of course. But it's grown a lot. You know, Frost has a unique way of calling plays. You know, the way he pairs certain routes together and just concepts. It takes some getting used to. And so the first game, I think we were both kind of conservative with each other. And then as the season progressed, I think he got more comfortable with my abilities and I got more comfortable with the calling, and we were on the same page. And moving forward, I think we're just going to stay on that same page. And I think I felt that in the spring. Just a real understanding of what was expected of me out there. Yeah, I don't know if that necessarily helps with that part of it, but it's just cool hanging around him, you know. Coach Frost is a real cool guy to be around, and, you know, I think the other guys can attest to that.
How much did you get to know Nate Stanley, the Manning family?
Yeah, we got to hang out a little bit. You know, I actually wanted to say hi to him here, but I can't find the tall guy. You know, he's a good guy. I got to hang out with him, throw the ball with him. Pretty good. I think we were both delayed in the New Orleans airport, naturally. But yeah, he's a good guy.
Have you seen clips of Scott Frost before?
I have. You know, and I wish we could have the crop tops like him. I mean, we can't all look as good as him. But, yeah, you know.
He thinks he was as fast as you, but that's the only place where you guys are equal skill set.
You know, I'm not sure. I'm competitive, so I hope he sees this. I think I'm faster than he was. But you know, who knows?
Lil Davis was saying sometimes practice gets a little feisty. They'll give you a little shove.
Yeah.
And that you kind of fight back, and sometimes even throw the ball like in there.
Yeah. I wish he didn't say that, but that did happen one time. Yeah. But that's how it should be, and there's no hard feelings, and I think that's the thing that's misunderstood. I want it to be competitive. I want those guys. You're not supposed to touch the quarterback. You know how it is. But I want things to be competitive. I want them to be fiery in practice, and if that's what happens, that's what happens. But I'm still going to go in the locker room and give him a hug after because he's my guy, and that's just how it is.
So he said it because he admired that trade. Why do you wish it hadn't come out?
Yeah, I didn't want it to sound too bad, but it's all right, Yeah.
How would you describe his role in the offense and the impact, not only in the college player he is, but just in the locker room?
Yeah, well, the guys definitely gravitate towards him. All the guys in the receiving room, and he's the vet in there now, which I don't think he's used to necessarily. But he just goes in and puts work in consistently, and I think he doesn't always know how to be the vocal leader, but when he has to, he does, and he goes out there and just runs great routes, does his job, and I think he sets a great example and sets the standard for those receivers. I'm not sure, but he's always been. It was kind of a weird deal, It just kind of clicked during the season, and we took off with it. He's always been a guy that I can count on when I see him, and I'm going to give him a chance because I have faith in him.
When you think back to your recruitment, if you don't mind, for a moment,
Oh yeah. Yeah. I always say this, but I mean I really believe it's true. I think it was God's plan. It just kind of came all to me at once at the perfect time. It couldn't have happened with better timing, with the right opportunity, the right coaching staff. It was the perfect fit, and now that I'm at Nebraska, I love it even more. It's just been such a blessing for me for things to have lined up this way.
Do you notice anything about Scott's trust in Mario?
It's unwavering trust, and it's the same with me. As soon as I stepped on campus, no matter what he told me, whatever he wanted me to do, that's what I was going to do. I believe in him as a coach, and I know Coach Frost does too, and he's already made me a better player, so I'm excited for the next couple of years with him.
If you had to pick one stat that's most important for your success, what would that stat be? In terms of completion percentage, passer rating, limiting turnovers is one stat that's important for your success.
Wins. Wins is the most important stat. And if we get that, that means my stats were pretty decent. Probably turnovers is a big one. I think the turnover ratio, for me, that's a big one, especially from last year. Well, I want to limit them. I think I had too many last year, too many fumbles, interceptions I could have avoided, and upon reflection, watching film, I'll be working on avoiding those mistakes.
Can you walk us through, when you watch film, where's that at? Who's it with? Do you have pen and paper? Is it an iPad? What's that kind of setup like when you watch your film?
Yeah, well, usually when I go to bed, I turn on my iPad and I'll kind of review some of the stuff we have lined out. I can watch film there. Spring practice, games, just depends. And then most of the other time, I like to watch it kind of by myself and really just dive in. Other times it might be with some receivers and we're breaking down their stuff. It just depends. But really, I try and squeeze it in whenever I can. I think especially right now, while I have time, it's important to get in as much as I can. It was 6 hours? I was just wondering, maybe it... Well, yeah. Well, either way, however long it was, it didn't feel that long. And I think that kind of just speaks to having good company. Coach Frost, Khalil over there, Mo Bear, you have Keith, Aura. We got them all. And despite being in the 10-seater plane, fighting turbulence, being delayed, whatever else, I was having a good time, and we made it. So that's all that matters. He was pretty smooth. He was a smooth sailor, yeah. It took about 40 minutes. There wasn't any traffic, oddly. So, yeah, thankful for that. Seamus, my dog, coming to save me.